From Manila to the globe, this is World Newsfeed, bringing you the biggest stories shaping our times. Good morning, I'm Raine Musñgi. Let's dive into the headlines making an impact across the world. The battle for control of the U.S. House of Representatives intensifies as Republicans edge closer to securing the majority. As of the latest count, they hold 211 seats, only 7 seats shy of the 218 needed for a majority. In this tight race, 24 House seats remain undecided, with both parties fighting for these crucial final spots. A Republican victory would allow the party to support Donald Trump's presidential agenda or challenge Vice President Kamala Harris if she wins the presidency. Should she have won the presidency, with just days left, all eyes are on these final House races as the future balance of power hangs in the balance. Mar-a-Lago is once again the center of political power in America. As Donald Trump preps for his second term as president, his Florida estate has become a hub for political appointees and influencers. Insiders like North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum and former defense official Kash Patel have already made their pilgrimage. Even Elon Musk is a regular, joining Trump for dinners and meetings with world leaders. Hotels in West Palm Beach are full of office seekers and supporters, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. The political transition, though still unconventional, is a battle for dominance, with Trump prioritizing loyalty over experience. The first major appointment is Florida political consultant Susie Wiles at White House Chief of Staff, signaling that Trump's Florida conservative network could be central to his administration. Security at Mar-a-Lago remains tight, and the political clamor to gain Trump's favor is in full swing. This time, the struggle for access is far more intense and secretive than in 2016. Now on to Gaza, where dozens of Palestinians have been killed and many more wounded after an Israeli airstrike targeted northern Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. Local medics report that the death toll is still rising as rescue crews work to pull survivors from the rubble. The Jabalia camp has become a frequent target of Israel's ongoing military campaign against Hamas. Officials say the strike was intended to target military infrastructure housed within civilian areas. However, the humanitarian impact continues to spark outcry from international organizations and local residents alike. Tensions continue to escalate in the Middle East as Israeli forces struck a residential building in Damascus, Syria, overnight. Syria's state news agency reported that the airstrike caused significant damage to a multi-story residential building in the Jabalia district, a suburb of Damascus. Officials say there are several casualties, but the exact number is not yet confirmed. The Syrian government immediately condemned the strike, calling it an aggressive escalation. Israel has not yet commented on the strike, but has in the past targeted Syrian territory, aiming to disrupt Iranian-backed militias and Hezbollah military infrastructure in the region. In a dramatic declaration, Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz announced that Israel has defeated Hezbollah. Katz said Sunday that Israel's military operations have dealt a crushing blow to Hezbollah forces, eliminating what he called an immediate threat to Israel's northern border. He noted that Tel Aviv is not interested in meddling in internal Lebanese politics, as Israel has learned its lessons, unquote, but that he hoped an international coalition could capitalize on this opportunity politically, and that Lebanon would join other countries in normalizing relations with Israel. The announcement comes after weeks of cross-border tensions between Israel and Lebanon, with multiple attacks and counterattacks involving both sides. Hezbollah has yet to respond to the defense minister's statement. Reports indicate that Qatar is planning to withdraw from its role as a mediator in the ongoing Gaza ceasefire talks. Qatari officials say the decision comes after months of stalled negotiations and limited success in reaching an agreement between Israel and Palestinian factions. Qatar has been acting as a key intermediary for years, channeling financial support and negotiating efforts between Hamas and Israel. With Qatar now stepping away, the future of any ceasefire agreement remains uncertain, and efforts to secure a lasting peace face even greater obstacles. Amsterdam saw tensions erupt this weekend as pro-Palestinian protesters defied a ban on public gatherings, leading to more than 100 arrests. On Sunday, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters packed Dam Square in Amsterdam, defying a ban the city's mayor enacted in response to recent violence between Dutch and Israeli citizens. Earlier in the week, Israeli football fans were targeted in what authorities called hit-and-run attacks, prompting heightened concerns over public safety. Israeli nationals in Amsterdam have since been urged to avoid all demonstrations while authorities remain on high alert. The Israeli National Security Council even issued a broad warning for citizens abroad, noting potential threats in several European cities. More news overseas in a moment when World Newsfeed returns. Stay with us. Welcome back to World Newsfeed. Russia's capital, Moscow, faced one of its largest drone attacks from Ukraine, forcing temporary closures of 3 major airports. In a major escalation, Ukraine launched at least 34 drones toward Moscow, prompting the temporary closure of 3 major airports, Domodedovo, Sheremetyevo, and Zhukovsky. The attack caused at least 36 flights to be diverted before airports resumed operations. Now, while Russia claims its air defense systems intercepted most drones, this incident marks the largest UAV attack on Moscow since the conflict began. Meanwhile, the Washington Post reports U.S. President-elect Trump advised Russian President Vladimir Putin in a phone call not to escalate in Ukraine. Ukraine's Odessa region was hit by a Russian air attack. Ukrainian officials report 2 injured in a Russian air attack on the Odessa region, and Ukrainian officials say the drone strike hit critical infrastructure, leaving behind fire damage and temporarily halting operations at the Orlivka and Isaksaya border crossing with Romania. Ukraine's Air Force reported they managed to intercept and shoot down 11 of the 32 drones fired by Russian forces overnight. Ukraine is now seeing increased attacks on its Black Sea ports, a region vital for exports and already struggling under the economic strain of these repeated strikes. With drone attacks increasing in frequency, this targeted area remains under continuous threat. Israel's defense ministry has begun coordinating joint preparations with the German Federal Ministry of Defense for the initial deployment of Israel's Arrow 3 missile interception system on German soil in 2025. Tel Aviv said on Sunday it has held meetings at Israel Aerospace Industries, or IAI, along with Israel defense firm Elbit Systems, for the Arrow system developed in cooperation with Israel and the U.S. to counter long-range ballistic missile threats, with IAI as the prime contractor. With U.S. approval, Israel agreed last year to sell the Arrow 3 system to Germany in a $3.5 billion deal, its biggest defense sale to date. Germany and its neighbors in Europe are boosting defense spending following Russia's war in Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says he's open to moving up a parliamentary confidence vote by several weeks to before Christmas, sparking concerns about government stability in Europe's largest economy. The move would potentially speed up the country's early election to February, and Scholz, whose three-party government collapsed last week, said the shift in timing would depend on an agreement between parliamentary leaders of his Social Democratic Party and the two parties backing Friedrich Merz, the Christian Democrat who's seeking the chancellorship in a bid to move Germany toward more conservative policies. Scholz's coalition partners have expressed frustration over policy disagreements, especially over its Ukraine spending. In a crucial diplomatic move, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, is set to visit Iran amid rising nuclear concerns. IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi will visit Iran on Wednesday in an effort to regain access to critical nuclear sites. The visit comes amid stalled negotiations on Iran's nuclear program and international concerns over the possibility of Iran enriching uranium to weapons-grade levels. This diplomatic visit could be a pivotal step in mitigating tensions between Iran and Western countries. In royal news now, Princess Kate of Wales is making headlines for a series of rare consecutive public appearances after her cancer diagnosis. The 42-year-old princess was seen attending back-to-back events this week, showing resilience and dedication to her royal duties despite her health battle. Royal sources say the princess is receiving ongoing treatment and is focused on raising awareness for cancer prevention. Her public appearances have been met with waves of support from fans and advocates alike. And that is all for now. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Raine Musñgi. Catch up with us again tomorrow when we bring you the world in 30 minutes, only on World Newsfeed. Follow the Money comes next. Keep it here on BNC.